when I saw the idea that you just saw, if you're a guest and you were invited in this room, would you raise your hand, please? Okay, fantastic. So to my guests, let me just say to you that what you're experiencing right now is very unique because you're getting the fullest experience of this when you're seeing it for the first time. When I saw it, I actually was sitting on somebody's couch and I saw the idea. And at that point in my life, I was speaking professionally and traveling mostly in the United States, doing Fortune 500 and Fortune 50 companies and pharmaceuticals. And before I got into speaking, I was in entertainment. So I had been on Broadway, I had done films and television, and I made my living traveling, bless you, from Europe, to the United States doing theater and doing what I love to do. So I wasn't in a space where I was looking for anything. It just so happened that the person who invited me to look at it, he and I were business partners, and I was like, cool, let me take a look and see what's going on. Now, my ego, when I saw this idea, was like this. And my bank account was not bad either, but I was intrigued by the idea of working as a team. I grew up playing sports. So I identified with teamwork and making people better. And if I'm not better, then you can't be better. So I love the concept of coming together as a unit to do something significant. So I had to make some decisions for myself that I was going to be willing to go on this adventure not knowing where it was going to take me. Unfortunately, I only saw enough of this idea to enroll, to get signed up. But I didn't see enough to get started. For most people, they have 2 dates, and sometimes 3. The date that you see this idea, and you make a decision that you want to be a part of it. And then there's a date that you decide that you actually want to do something with it, and you want to get started. And then there's a 3rd date, and that's when you discover that you have untapped capacity inside of you, and you can take this thing to places you never imagined. Very few people reach that 3rd date. Very few people reach the 2nd date. Everybody's going to have the 1st day where you get started. You enroll. So it took me about 6 months to kind of figure out what was going on. And I remember specifically having a conversation with Oz, and he had no idea that this was going on. But he was talking to me, and he was sharing with me things specifically about the business and where we could go and how it was going to grow. And I was just sitting there like this. I was just nodding my head like this. I had no idea what he was talking about. It just went right over my head. But I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to look like I didn't know what, he was spending a lot of time and energy talking to me. So I didn't want him to feel like he was wasting his breath, but he really was. But what happened was, I went to events like this, and I got on conference calls, and I started becoming a detective, just kind of snooping around and getting into people's stories. And the more I learned about other people's journeys, the more I began to see the possibilities for my journey. Does that make sense? Yeah. See, when you're in a room like this, especially if you're a guest, you can't deny what's happening. You can't look at someone that's living and breathing right in front of you and say, hey, listen, tell me your story. And he tells you his story, and you're like, wow, that's what you've created so just in that little bit of time? Well, man, if he's doing it, maybe I can do it too. And so I started to open my eyes to greater possibilities. But I had some very strategic advantages. Everybody in this room you have gifts that you've been given. There are things inside of you that no one else has but you. And the way that you share that, the way that you express that, you're going to find thousands and thousands and thousands of other people that resonate with how you express your best self. So, my strategic advantage was this. How many of you all know people and they get into a relationship with the wrong person? And then the person that you know, their life goes like this. Y'all know people like that? How many of you all know people that get into a relationship with the right person and everything they do just goes up?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes?
Yes, definitely.
Most people spend time with the wrong people. Think about it like this. Your Fab Five. Okay, I call it your Fab Five. The 5 people that you spend most of your time with, that you choose to let into your life, that's going to determine your level of success, your level of health, your level of income, and impact over the next 5, 10, 15 years. Think about the 5 people that you choose to plug into for the majority of your leisure time right now. And when I thought about that, I was like, I need a new 5 people. It's not that I don't love these 5 people, but I need new 5 people because I don't want to stay where we're at. I want to go somewhere different. How many of you all want to go somewhere different in your life? See, we've been programmed and conditioned by certain things in our lives. There are things we've been exposed to, the house you grew up in, the culture that you have been taught in, the language that you speak, the music that you resonate with, the clothing that you wear, the food that you eat. All of these things have been conditioned in us. And somewhere along the line, every one of you started speaking a different kind of story. You said, Mom, I don't want to wear that outfit. I want to wear this outfit. And I don't want to listen to that kind of music anymore. I actually like this kind of music. And I don't want to eat that food. I like this kind of food. And some of you all were very strong in that. And some of you all were not. You said, I don't want to wear that. I want to wear this. Well, no, you're wearing that. And you were like, okay. I don't want to eat that. Well, you're going to eat it anyway. Okay. I don't want to hang around those kind of people. Well, you're going to hang around them because that's just the way it is. This is how it was in my family, before your grandparents and your great-grandparents. This is how we always done it. This is how you going to do it. And you were like, okay. So when you see an idea like this, you come into a room like this, it can be a shock to your system. It can threaten your entire way of life as you know it. And even though we're asking you, hey, you like to travel? You like vacations? You like having fun? You're like, yeah, I do. How would you like to take more trips and spend more time with your loved ones and see more of the world? Yeah, I would. And what if you could actually get paid for it? Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. And then it comes time to get started and you're like, your whole being is like, but that's impossible. That's not how I grew up. Nobody ever told me I could travel the world and get paid for it. Who told me I could spend more time with my loved ones and create more memories? That doesn't make sense. Yes, I like it, but I can't. You're threatening my whole way of life, Ed! And so the realm of possibility for you becomes a scary proposition.